Hi, hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then hi, hello, my name's Zoe. I do apologise for how I look. I'm in my comfy little jumper because it is freezing and snowing outside. It's so foggy, it's unreal. So today's video is quite a serious video. I had a couple of people reach out to me on Twitter to do this, and I also spoke to this girl's family first just to check that they was okay with me doing this video. I didn't want to go ahead and film it and then take offence to it, so I did want to double check and just get permission from them and get their side of the story and their opinions before I posted this video. So today's video is a true crime video. It's about the disappearance of Alissa Turney. Now, I wouldn't normally ask for people to share this type of video, but Alyssa's family are trying to get as much attention on this case as possible. They have reached out to a few other YouTubers to get them to do videos. Please share this case. Please go to the internet, share the case, share information about it, because they want justice for Alyssa. They want Alyssa to be able to either finally rest or for the correct people to be sentenced for what's happened to Alyssa. So, my notes are just here. I'm not very good at true crime. This is the second true crime video that I've ever done. I want to make sure that I get everything correct. So if I do glance to my notes, that's why. I'm so sorry. I will try and avoid doing that because I know it can be annoying, but please just enjoy the video. Please share it with your friends and we'll get right into the video. So, Alissa Turney was a 17-year-old girl. She attended Paradise Valley High School in Phoenix, Arizona, and she lived with a stepfather, Micheal Turney, and she also lived with a half-sister, Sarah Turney. So, when Alyssa was younger, her mother had married Micheal Turney and had a daughter together called Sarah, and unfortunately her mother got diagnosed with cancer and passed away in the late 90s, and that left Micheal to look after Sarah and Alyssa. They did have older brothers, but they did live away from the family home. So the relationship between Alyssa and her stepfather was very different from the relationship between Sarah and her father. Alyssa was very carefree. She was such a happy personality, really outgoing, and this clashed with Michael's strict parenting, and this caused a lot of issues for him. So as Alyssa got older, as any teenager does, she started to get rebellious. She started to rebel against Michael's strict routine. She started to stay late. She was not attending school, and she was also, you know, dabbling in drugs. I think it was cannabis, but that's not a big issue. What teenager doesn't do that these days? It's part of life, really. So, because Alyssa started to get really rebellious, her stepfather took it upon himself to monitor Alyssa and monitor what she was doing. He monitored her phone calls, he monitored, you know, online activity. He would go to her place of work, sit outside and watch her to make sure she attended work and watch what she was doing at work. He even went to the extremes of setting up video surveillance within the home so we could watch what Alyssa was doing, and he also recorded all incoming and outgoing calls. So, Alyssa went missing on the 27th of May 2001. The day was the same as any other. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Micheal Turney had dropped Alyssa off at school and she attended school, and then he picked her up at lunchtime to go and get some food. Now, Micheal claims that when they went to get some food, there was a bit of a disagreement between him and Alyssa. She didn't like the strict ways and the strict rules that he had in this household, and that's why Alyssa was unhappy with him. She wanted more freedom. She just wanted to be a normal 17-year-old girl. She was, you know, 1 year away from being classed as an adult. She just wanted to have more freedom. So after this, Micheal says that they finished up eating their food, they went home, and Alyssa, as a normal typical girl, stormed off to her bedroom, and that is where she was to stay. This would be the last time anybody would see Alyssa. Micheal, her stepfather, was the last person to see or speak to Alyssa. So Micheal left Alyssa at home, and he left to go and pick up Alyssa's younger sister Sarah from school, and then he claimed they had some things they needed to do, so he was at the house for about 3 to 4 hours. And then whilst they was out, Micheal tried calling Alyssa, but she wouldn't answer to him, so he said to Sarah, he said, will you try ringing her, she won't answer me. And Sarah tried to ring and ring and ring repeatedly, and no answer from Alyssa. When they returned home, they saw that Alyssa was not home, so whilst still ringing Alyssa, Micheal heard the phone vibrating, and this is when Sarah found Alyssa's phone in her bedroom, and next to this phone was a note from Alyssa. So Alyssa stated in this note that she was running away to California. So as soon as they found this note, Micheal phoned the police and created a missing persons report, but they didn't take it seriously. They thought she'd just run away, so they decided not to do very much about it. They just left it as it was and said, she's a runaway, she'll come back. And no searches were conducted for Alyssa. There was no searching the home or getting in contact with anybody around her, nothing. They just thought she had run away to California like the note had said. But her family and close friends thought this was quite strange for Alyssa. They didn't think that she was the type to run away from home. They thought something must have happened to her, and also none of her belongings were missing. None of the things that you would need to take, including your mobile phone or a wash bag or even a couple of changes of clothes, none of that had gone missing. And like I said, her family thought it was really out of character. She also had over $1,000 in her bank account, but this has never been touched. And assuming she ran away, she probably would have needed money. She needed to get around, she needed, you know, food, a place to stay. She probably would have touched that money. So a week after Alyssa's disappearance, Micheal claims that he got a phone call that he believes was Alyssa. He said there was no conversation, he tried speaking to her, but he didn't get anything back, and he claims that it was a Californian number. So this has never been proven. The police have never been able to prove it, so it's all just hearsay on that one. So the next big development in this case was in 2006. A man called Thomas Hyman had confessed to killing Alyssa. So Thomas Hyman was serving a life sentence for murdering his girlfriend. Now I'm not going to get into that because that's nothing to do with Alyssa's case. But he claimed he was a serial killer. He confessed to numerous killings. So Thomas claims that he met Alyssa in Phoenix. They went to a hotel, and during a sexual encounter he strangled her to death. He then said he dismembered her body and disposed of her. Now the police didn't, you know, they're not going to just jump to it and think you're right, because there is a lot of criminals out there who will admit to things just to, you know, get time off their sentence or make them look better or make themselves famous. And in this case, Thomas got in touch with the detective and said, I'm going to make you famous. So that at the start did make him seem less credible, because it seemed like he was only doing it to be noticed. So Thomas did agree to do a polygraph test, and in this polygraph test they asked him questions about, you know, what happened to Alyssa, what he did to her, and of course he failed this polygraph test. Now they're not 100% accurate, but they are quite reliable when it comes to cases. So the police decided to drop Thomas as a suspect. They decided his confession wasn't credible, he wasn't credible. So after this they moved on to the next suspect, and that is Micheal Turney. Now of course he's going to be the next suspect. When something happens to a family member, no matter if they've gone missing or if they've been murdered, anything like that, they always look close to home first. They always investigate family members, and especially the person to have seen the missing person last, and in this case that was Micheal Turney. So since Micheal claimed that the cameras were just for safety, but when you think about everything else he's done, it's quite hard to believe that he just fitted them for safety. It's more believable that he did fit them to spy on what his daughters were doing. So obviously the police knew that Micheal had footage from inside the house, so they asked Micheal for footage of the day that Alyssa went missing, and he refused. He point blank said no. his excuse for refusing was that he already looked over the full day and there was nothing of interest. Now, police got quite annoyed with this because something that may not seem as of interest to you, when an analyst looks over that footage, may be interesting to them. And as well, they get a full description of what she was wearing, if there's any distinctive marks, if she's got her hair in a distinctive way, distinctive jewellery, so that helps them find out where she is, or it possibly helps for leads. So that information would have been so important to the police. So when people found out that Micheal was a suspect, a lot of Alyssa's close friends came forward to say that Alyssa had confided in them about sexual abuse from Micheal towards her in the past. And one of her friends also said that Alyssa had told them how she was asleep and she woke up because Micheal had tied her to a chair and gagged her, and she had also told her boyfriend that Micheal had once picked Alyssa up from school, took her down a dirt road, and then tried to, you know, touch her and just do horrible things to her. So she got aggressive, which is quite obvious, and then that's as much as we know about that. A year before Alyssa even went missing, Micheal took it upon himself to call Child Protection Services and say, if my stepdaughter Alyssa phones you saying that I've sexually abused her, it is not true, do not believe her. Now, if that doesn't shout guilty, then I don't know what does. I think maybe they should have even looked into that, at the possibility of her being sexually abused a year before, because that, if I was in a call centre and I was working for Child Protection Services and I received a call, I would get alarmed and I would have to take it further and get it investigated. He also wrote up contracts for Alyssa to sign, and these contracts basically said, like, I, Alyssa, have not been sexually assaulted by my stepfather. Now, I don't understand why you would need to make your stepdaughter or someone you consider your daughter sign these if there was no sign of sexual abuse anyway. That sort of seems like it's kind of like bribery. It's kind of forcing someone not to open their mouth. And again, I think that's a big sign that she was sexually abused, but that is just my opinion. So whenever police wanted to speak to Micheal, he point blank refused to speak to him face to face. He said, you have to email me or you have to phone me, and that is it. I will not speak to you any other way. And he also refused to give them DNA and also refused a polygraph test. Now, the police had had enough of Micheal just being uncooperative and refusing to do everything, so they went to the court and they got a search warrant for Micheal's address, so then they could enter the address and get everything that they needed, so the videotapes, possible DNA, things like that. So police conducted the search in December 2008 on Micheal's home, and they found a number of alarming things. I'm just going to read this off my notes so I get it right, but when they conducted the search, they found 19 high caliber assault rifles, 2 handmade silencers and 26 handmade explosive devices in Micheal's home, and these were dotted in every room. He also had pistols on his person. So when searching the home, they also found out that he was planning a terrorist attack on a company that Micheal believed had done him wrong back in the 1970s. He planned to go in and attack him at one of their meetings and shoot a lot of people and just some very disturbing things. He planned to cause terror. He planned to cause death. And they also found a 96-page manifesto which backed everything up, backed the reasons why, and backed what he planned to do. They found this in his home. And they also found some alarming video footage in his home, DVDs and videos, things like that, of bondage, which again is concerning when you look back at what Alyssa's friends accused Micheal of doing to Alyssa. And they also found a movie which was a woman who was abducted, raped and murdered. Now, Micheal didn't conduct that. He just got the video footage, and this video footage was just one scene of a long snuff movie, and Micheal had edited it so it was on a loop. The woman being abducted, raped and murdered was on a loop for him to watch, which again is really, really concerning. So Micheal was convicted to 10 years in prison of unlawfully producing destructive devices, and I think he might have left in 2017 and now he's in a halfway house, but I'm not sure how credible that is, so but I thought I'd mention it. That is where we're up to today. Alyssa's family strongly believe that Micheal is behind Alyssa's, you know, abduction and murder. They believe he totally harmed her, and they're trying to get as much light on this case as possible, which is understandable. So at the time, Alyssa's sister Sarah thought that her father was innocent, which is totally understandable. At the end of the day, it is her dad, and for her to go against him would be very, very hard for her, and I can totally understand that. She thought he had nothing to do with it. She, you know, helped him out legally. She totally advocated for him everywhere, created a website, and over time Sarah noticed that cracks begin to show, and her father was getting more and more guilty, which she picked up on, and then this totally changed her mind, and she started to believe that her father was in fact guilty and that he did do something to Alyssa, and she stopped advocating for him. She took the website down, she stopped legal fees, things like that. So when Sarah asked her father, "Did you do anything to Alyssa? Did you harm her?" he turned round and said, "I will confess on my deathbed," and he said he won't confess before then. Now in my eyes, and even in Sarah's family eyes, this has got to be some sort of confession. This has got to be some sort of proof that he has done something to her, and it's so sad that there is no other evidence to back it up at the moment, but this because people are not looking into him at the moment. They need to be looking for the evidence, and that's why they're trying to shine light on this case. Sarah believes that, like many other people do, that her father abducted Alyssa, tried to sexually assault her like he had done previously, but she fought back and fought back hard, and she then believes that her father killed her and disposed of her body nearby. So Sarah is very active on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on things like that, trying to get attention for the case, and there is a petition to obviously get Micheal looked at even more. I will link that petition in the description box below. I will also link the family's social media down below, because at the moment it's at a dead end, there's no evidence, and they're trying to get their stepfather convicted. Basically the whole family is trying to get him convicted and trying to find out what happened to Alyssa, because like I've said many times, they strongly believe, and like thousands of other people do, believe that Alyssa's stepfather has done this to her, and they just want justice for Alyssa. So recently, quite a few times, the hashtag justice for Alyssa has been used on Twitter, and they're using this hashtag to try and bring attention. So I will write a tweet on my Twitter with the basics of what happened, and links to the petition and other social medias. I will write that in a tweet on my Twitter. So my Twitter is down below, so go and follow my Twitter so you can retweet that. You can use the hashtag justice for Alyssa, and like I've already said, please share this video, please go and sign the petition and do everything for this family. All they want is justice for a 17-year-old girl. They want to know what happened to their younger sister, they want to know what happened to her, and they just want her to be able to rest, and they just want to be able to rest as a family, because as you can imagine, since this has happened in 2001, the family has been through hell, and it's only understandable. They have been through so much, so they deserve this. So share this video with your friends, share the tweets, share the hashtag justice for Alyssa, get the case out there, and that is all I ask for this video. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, go and check out my social media, go and check out Alyssa's family's social media, and also share this video with your friends to get the attention back on this case. And I shall see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye bye.